Hi, everyone. Welcome. We still have some people coming in, but I think we'll get started. We have you on mute now. There is going to be a chance to unmute yourself and ask some questions later, but we're going to try to
I'm leaving, Janice.
control the background noise now.
Thank you.
So if you're not muted, please mute yourself so that everyone can hear and we're not distracted by any background noise. If you haven't done so yet, you should feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. This is one in a workshop series. I think this is our fourth or fifth workshop for ESL, adult literacy, and high school equivalency students and staff about various options and opportunities for once you are finished with this program and you move on to do other your next educational steps. So I'm going to share my screen. We have some fantastic guests today who are going to be talking about programs that are at CUNY. So you're going to have the opportunity to hear from each of them and also to ask questions about their programs. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is a workshop on CUNY special programs. Again, my name is Ellen Baxt. I work at the CUNY central office, and so I work with our program case managers that are at the 14 different CUNY campuses where we have ESL, adult basic education, and high school equivalency programs. So this session is being recorded. And once the session is finished, we're going to post it in a Google Classroom page that we have where we've collected all of the recordings and presentations that our presenters have made. I can't see the chat right now, but probably Eric is putting the link to the Google Classroom page in the chat. Again, we're just going to ask that you keep yourself muted for now. You may write questions in the chat. I'm going to ask that you wait until a presentation is over to write your questions because they may be answered by the presentation if you listen very carefully. So this workshop is about what happens once you enter the college. So once you're done getting your diploma and sharpening your English skills and you enter the college either in a degree program or in a certificate program. So I want you to imagine yourself there. Imagine what it's like to be a college student or be in a certificate program. And think about the supports that you might need during that time. So that's what this workshop is going to be about. So it's really helpful if you think about, okay, what is it going to be like when I'm at that place? And what supports might I need? So as I said, we've had a number of previous workshops and you can access those recordings. The first one was on the CUNY admissions process. How do you apply to CUNY? The next one was on post-secondary planning. So how do I figure out what my interests are and how do I choose a program in line with those interests? Financial aid, how do I get the money to pay for the tuition and the books and everything to go to college? And we did one on careers in healthcare. What are some careers in healthcare? So again, if you go to the Google Classroom page, you can access all of those workshops. So why are we doing this workshop? So CUNY is enormous, is my one sentence answer to that question. CUNY is enormous. So you have some colleges like Medgar Evers that have around 5,000 students. And you have some colleges like the Borough of Manhattan Community College that have 25,000 students. And so we're going to hear about a number of programs that were designed to be a smaller environment. A lot of them have their own advisors who can give you information. And they offer different things, but one of the things they have in common is that they're kind of like breaking down this enormous environment into a smaller place of people who know you, you know the other students in the program, and it's easier to kind of find your way when you're in a smaller program. So whenever I have worked with students who are preparing to go to college, I really encourage them, I strongly encourage them to get into some kind of smaller program. And there are many smaller programs that you're going to hear about. So there's also a lot of what we call college knowledge, things like what is the bursar? How do I choose my classes? Where do I take my immunization records, right? Like there are all of these details of the college bureaucracy, and those smaller programs can help you navigate that. College advisors have an enormous load of students who they work with. So when you go to see a college advisor, they may also be advising several thousand other students. And so a lot of these programs have their own advisors, and so they can spend more time with you to help you figure out, the major that's a good choice for you, what classes you should take, other supports if you're encountering financial difficulties, or housing difficulties or legal difficulties. Like they are aware of the services at the college. Also, you are in a community of peers, of classmates who are in the program, and they too can be a very strong source of support. So that's one of the advantages also. They may set up things like study groups and other ways that students support each other. And so that's why we brought all of this to you today, so that you know how to apply, you know how to get your financial aid, but you also can find a smaller environment within the larger college. So what we're going to do is we're going to have representatives from this program. They're going to present for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to take questions. So as they're speaking, you can write down your questions, you can write them in the chat, or you can jot them down to unmute later. And this is really your opportunity to have access to the representatives from these programs. So first we're going to have Kristen Winkler, who is from the CUNY Language Immersion Program, CLIP. That is a program for people who are working on their English skills. We're going to hear from Brenda Ballena and Bonnie Flaherty from the CUNY Start and Math Start programs, which are programs to help you get your reading, writing, and math skills up to the college level, so that when you go into your college classes, you're ready to write those 10-page papers, you're ready to do that complicated math. We're going to hear from Julianne Salazar from the College Discovery Program, which provides support to students who are already in college. CLIP and CUNY Start and Math Start are pre-college programs you do before you enter the college. College Discovery is a program that supports students who are already in college, as does ASAP. We're going to hear from Richard Suarez. We're also going to hear from CUNY Edge from Natalie Hodge, and finally from Sharika Stewart and Kate Brandt about the CUNY Blackmail Initiative. So I am going to stop sharing, and we'll have Kristen up next. And so listen carefully and write any questions you have in the chat.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here to talk to you today about CLIP. I'm going to share my screen. And okay. So I work for CLIP in the central office, and CLIP stands for the CUNY Language Immersion Program. I'm just going to give you some of the basics about the program, and then I'm happy to answer any questions that you have later. So CLIP is a low-cost, intensive English language program for students accepted to CUNY. And I should say CUNY degree seeking program, because Ellen pointed out you could be going into a degree or a continuing or a certificate program. And by intensive, I mean CLIP classes meet 25 hours a week. So it's 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, which helps you more rapidly develop your academic English language skills before starting college. So as Ellen said, again, it's a pre-college or pre-matriculation program before you start your credit classes. So CLIP offers classes at a wide range of English language levels, classes at 9 CUNY campuses in all 5 boroughs, a choice of day or evening classes, and classes in long fall and spring semesters and shorter 6-week summer and winter terms. So I don't know why this isn't, my slides are not advancing. Okay, so you can attend CLIP if you have been accepted to any CUNY college, meaning to a degree program, have English language learning needs, and have not yet met CUNY proficiency in English. So really, if English is not your first language, if you're going into a degree program at CUNY and either CUNY says you are not proficient in English, or you yourself feel that you're not proficient in English and not ready to start the credit classes, CLIP could be a great program for you. So you can start CLIP at the beginning of any session, meaning at the beginning of a fall semester, a spring semester, a summer session. You can spend up to 1 year in CLIP. So some students spend 1 semester in CLIP, and some students spend 1 year in CLIP. You can attend any of the 9 CLIP campuses, no matter which CUNY college you plan to attend. So it doesn't need to be the same campus. And this might be important if, for example, the CUNY college you're going to attend for your degree doesn't have space for you in the CLIP program at that time, or doesn't have the level that you need at that time. You know that there are other options in the CLIP program. So CLIP is an excellent option for English language learners who can commit to an intensive program. Again, the intensiveness, 25 hours a week, is both time and energy. If you can do that, I'd say it's not only an excellent option, I think it's really the best option for starting out to prepare as a pre-college program. So CLIP classes, like I think a lot of the classes at the CUNY Adult Literacy Program, are organized around, just to add a little bit about the classes, they're organized around themes and content. So while you're in a CLIP class, you're also learning about different topics and content areas. The CLIP classes have an active learning participatory approach. So there are many benefits to CLIP, and there's just a few of them listed here. As a CLIP student, you develop language skills, and all 4 language skills. With 25 hours, there's time for speaking and listening, as well as reading and writing, through extensive class activities and discussions of that content I mentioned. You build academic skills and content knowledge that helps prepare you for your college credit classes. You also save time and money by reducing the number of semesters you spend in college ESL classes. There are some college ESL classes, but they're like 6 to 9 hours a week, not 25 hours a week. And you save your financial aid for future college courses. So in CLIP, you don't use any financial aid. So during CLIP, you are developing your English language skills, developing your academic skills, developing your content knowledge, and also your college knowledge, which Ellen talked a little bit about. And then when you get ready to exit CLIP, you receive help to transition successfully to the college classes. So that help would be just to make sure everything's in order with where you're going and what classes you're taking. Often it's helping you go into another program, another success program that you'll hear about tonight, like CUNY Start or Mass Start or ASAP. And in CLIP, you also become part of a community. So CLIP, again, it's 25 hours a week. You form a bond, you become part of a strong community, and you develop relationships that will continue into college. And that becomes part of that peer support network that will help you in college. Those relationships are with your classmates, your peers who become your friends, also with the CLIP program staff and faculty. CLIP students often return when they're in college for, to share feedback or to get help. So if you're interested in CLIP, just very briefly, this might be for the future, but let's say you were going to go to CLIP soon. The things that you would need to do would be to apply to CUNY. And then after you've been accepted to a CUNY degree program, my recommendation is that you email one or more of the CLIP campuses directly to get in touch, let them know you're interested, ask questions, and also to check your email, the same email you use in your CUNY application, to look for information, and they'll be sending you a link to a CUNY ESL diagnostic test, which I can say a little bit more about later. This is now during coronavirus that you'll be getting that test online. So at any point in the process, you can get more information about CLIP, about enrolling. You can find the campus emails and contact at our website, clip.cuny.edu. So that's it for now. And I'm happy to answer questions.
Thanks, Kristen. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat now. I just want to emphasize one point, which is that CLIP is outside of the regular track of the traditional colleges ESL classes, which means that instead of using your financial aid for these classes that you're not getting credit for, you pay for them, and the cost is, Kristen, what is the cost?
The cost varies, but yeah, so I said low cost. I can show, I don't know if you want me to do this now, I could show you.
Or just a range.
Yeah, so for New York students, anybody that lives in New York, including documented or undocumented, the maximum you would pay for the longest term, which is 16 weeks, 25 hours a week, is $180. And then it goes down to from there to like $18 for a summer session for students with public assistance or are in SEEK or college discovery. So yeah, there's a little bit of a range, but it doesn't go past 180 for anyone living in New York.
And so the idea is that, you would keep your financial aid for classes for credit. So you would sharpen your speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills in English in CLIP, and then you would be prepared for those classes.
Exactly.
So let's see. I see there are a few questions in the chat. So Eric put the link to the CLIP program in the chat, clip.cuny.edu. And there's a question, is there a PDF list of all CUNY programs? So that's a good question. So the programs that we're presenting tonight are programs that exist at many of the campuses. There are also programs that are particular to particular colleges. So, one campus has Kingsborough, I know, used to have a program for students who had not been successful at other colleges and were trying to come back to college. All of these programs are at many of the colleges: ASAP, College Discovery, CLIP, CUNY Start and Math Start, and CUNY Edge. I don't think there's a comprehensive list, but if you go to cuny.edu, and I can do a little research and we can put it in the chat. There is a way to find these kind of big common programs that are at many of the colleges, and individual colleges also have their own kind of unique programs.
A quick clarification, Ellen, is that the question actually was about CLIP locations.
Oh, sorry.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, and Kristen put a link to the,
I put a link on to the website where it lists the actual physical address and locations and contact information. And I put another link to the enrollment information sheet for the current summer and upcoming summer and fall. That also has a list of the campuses and their contact information without the physical address.
Kate, you're muted.
There's one more question, Ellen. Do you have to be a college student to be able to take these classes?
So Kristen should answer that.
Yeah, you have to have applied and been accepted to CUNY, to a undergraduate degree program. And then you pause because it's a pre-college, pre-matriculation program. So you apply, you're accepted. So you have to be intending to go into a college program, a college degree program. And then you kind of say, time out, I need more English first. And then you come to CLIP. And when you're finished with CLIP, then you automatically reactivate and go back, not go back, you start your college degree classes.
The next question is, can I take CLIP with no offer from the school I chose?
If I understand the question correctly, you do have to be accepted to CUNY to be able to attend CLIP. So you have, I guess not, no. You have to be accepted to CUNY, which means you have to have a high school diploma or high school equivalency of some kind from anywhere in the world.
Okay, and says, so can you take CLIP before going to a CUNY community college, or is it only for bachelor's degrees?
Definitely, majority of our students are going to community college. So either you can, any undergraduate degree, but yes.
Okay, can you be a freshman and enroll for CLIP?
If meaning you're already a freshman, you already started college, is that?
Seems like it.
Ashley,
That
is
was
that
your Ashley Anglada.
Ashley? Do you mean you already started your freshman class? I don't see Ashley. Can I get a nod? Haven't started. Well, if you haven't started, yeah, most students start CLIP as a they're coming into CUNY as new students. They would be freshmen at community college or getting a bachelor's degree. And they don't start their credit classes, they come to CLIP. There are also some cases where students do start their classes at CUNY, their credit classes, and they don't do well. And they realize, then they get an advisor or professor or advisor at CUNY might actually recommend CLIP. That's unusual, but they might actually go first to the credit classes and then realize they're not ready. And then they go sort of backwards into CLIP and then back into the college. You kind of don't want to do that. That's why if you need a program like CLIP, it's better to start in CLIP because you're not using your financial aid. You're not spending a whole semester in a class that you really that you're not ready for.
So there's a question I see about, can I take CLIP if I have my bachelor's degree from my country? So it really depends on what you want to do. So if you have a bachelor's degree and you were working as a professional in your country of origin and you want to continue doing that, it may not be the case that you need another degree. One organization that can help you figure that out is called Upwardly Global, and we'll put it in the chat. They work with people who have a degree earned in another country. I guess Kristen can answer the question about if you are trying to earn a second bachelor's degree.
Yeah, and the answer to that is yes. As long as, I mean, if you apply to CUNY for any bachelor's degree or community college degree, and you have English language learning needs, you should be able to come to CLIP. So maybe you want a second bachelor's degree in another field, you could come to CLIP. One issue with that, I would just recommend that often transfer students, so if you already have even some college credits from another country, or definitely a whole degree from another country, often you're exempt from all the proficiency requirements at CUNY, so they sometimes miss you, meaning you're not going to be identified as ESL, you're not going to be given a diagnostic test, and they think you're proficient because you have a degree, and they miss the fact that your degree maybe was not in English. So come to CLIP, one of the CLIP programs, and we can help, see if it's true that CLIP would help you, then we can help make sure you can come to CLIP.
So we're going to move on from CLIP now. There are some more questions in the chat, which I think probably Kristen can just answer in the chat. So Ellen, who is up next?
So next is CUNY Start and Math Start.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. So hi, everyone. My name is Brenda Belina. I am the program specialist for CUNY Start and Math Start at the central office. And I'm joined by Bonnie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bonnie Flaherty. I'm the director for CUNY Start and Math Start at Queensborough Community College. And we'll be able to answer the math question that was in the chat here in just a little bit.
Yes. All right, so I guess we can get started. We're going to talk to you a little bit about CUNY Start and Math Start. So Bonnie is going to start us off.
Thanks, Brenda. So CUNY Start and Math Start, like CLIP, is what's called a pre-matriculation program, meaning that it's something that we recommend that you take before you start taking your credit classes. How do you know you might need CUNY Start would be if you need to work on your math skills, usually specifically your algebra skills, or reading and writing skills before you start taking your credit classes. And there's a whole, through the admissions process, you'll learn about a placement perhaps into CUNY Start, or maybe suggested into ASAP or College Discovery, which you'll hear about in just a little bit. The CUNY Start and Math Start programs have a lot in common with CLIP. They are taught by instructors who have been trained in really specific ways to work with students based on their needs. We have what's called the student-centered approach to teaching, which means that teachers are really interested in understanding what students already know about the topic and then working to help them get to where they need to be. So the classes don't involve a lot of lecture, but instead have a lot of group work, have a lot of questions, have a lot of conversation. This slide says robust advisement. And what that means is there's an advisor who works with every CUNY Start and Math Start class, who meets with them as a group once a week to talk about college knowledge. Just like Ellen said at the beginning of the presentation, there's a whole lot of college knowledge. How do you pay your bill? How do you use CUNY First? How do you use Blackboard? These are things that the CUNY Start and Math Start advisors work with students every single week, so that when you start your credit bearing classes, you already have your CUNY ID, you already know how to use all of the CUNY tools, you've already planned your first 2 semesters of classes. So you're ready to hit the ground running. There are integrated supports. And what that means is there are tutors, math tutors and writing assistants who both are in the class with the instructor and with you, but who also provide support outside of class, like after class or before class for tutoring. So you really get a lot of individualized attention, as much as you need. We have all kinds of class schedules. We have classes that will start at the end of May. We have classes that will start in June and July. We have classes in the fall. some that start in the winter. So basically, whenever you're ready to enter CUNY, if you need to work on your math or your English or both, there's probably a CUNY Start program for you. I'm most excited about the summer programs because, well, it's May and it's time to be thinking about the summer programs, but they're very inexpensive. And Brenda will get to that in just a couple of minutes, but they also give you the chance to focus on one thing for 6 to 8 weeks, and then to be ready to take your credit classes in the fall. And we find that the students who are with us in the summer really enjoy having that kind of fast-paced focus on one subject and the ability to really connect with students. So our schedules, just like CLIP, are intense. In the full-time program, students are attending class 25 hours a week. And we have part-time classes where students are just with us for 12 hours a week, but it's a big commitment. So that's one of the things to think about as you're planning your first steps into college, is how much of a time commitment are you ready for? Brenda, do you want to talk a little bit about program eligibility? And then we'll take questions at the end for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Bonnie. Sure. So basically, the eligibility is, of course, earning your high school diploma or high school equivalency diploma, which is known as, formerly known as GED, completing all the CUNY admissions requirements. So again, to be in CUNY Star Math Star, you must have been, you must apply to CUNY and be accepted to CUNY. For the term that you're applying for in CUNY Star or Math Star, have not met CUNY proficiency milestones and require an intervention. And that really means, kind of like Bonnie mentioned before, that you need maybe English or math or both. In CUNY Star, we address the English and the math need, and with Math Star, it's only math. We also have like a reading and writing start in the summer, which I share some flyers, and I think it's already posted on the Google Classroom, and you can see there the colleges that offer reading and writing start. And then, like Bonnie mentioned again, able to commit to the schedule and actually participate in classes. And that's very important because, again, it's a big time commitment. And you know, most of these classes, like for CUNY Star, it requires like for students to be there 25 hours a week. For Math Star in the summer, it's about 20 hours a week, Monday through Thursday. And again, it's a big commitment, and we just want to, we let students know ahead of time so that they plan accordingly.
Brenda, before you go to the next slide, I just need to say something about this picture because it's one of my very favorite CUNY Start pictures. This is Alex, who started as a CLIP student at Queensborough Community College. He took 3 semesters of CLIP. Then he took a semester of CUNY Start. And then I hired him to be a math tutor, which he did for CUNY Start for the next 2 semesters. He finished his associate's degree at Queensborough, and I believe finished his degree at City College last year. So like and this is how he always looked, that like always happy and energetic, but he started at the very beginning with CLIP and kind of went through the whole progression. And Richard, what I didn't say is that he was also an ASAP student at Queensborough. So like he took advantage of every single special program he could, and it made a difference. Thanks, Brenda.
Of course, Bonnie, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And then lastly, how to join. In the flyers, you'll be able to see like the colleges that offer CUNY Star and Math Star. So our programs are in all community colleges, CSI and City Tech. Again, we try to reach out to the students who the admissions office sends us to us so that we can contact. But again, we definitely, if we don't, then you're more than welcome to reach out to us. And definitely welcome to ask us any questions, contact the campuses. All of that information is on the flyer. Once you do, you do contact the CUNY Star Master Program at your college, then you you should be able to attend an info session to get more information on schedules and the schedule that you would like to definitely register for. After that, then you do like an interview with a staff member. You complete the intake process and then you pay the student fee. So the student fee for CUNY Star is $75 for the semester. We do not use your financial aid. And that is definitely very, I guess, to the advantage of the student, because you want to save your financial aid money for your credit courses. For Math Star, it's $35 for the summer or the fall or spring semesters. Again, you can find out more information on our program in this link by clicking the link. Again, all of this information is in the flyer. Bonnie, I don't know if you want to add anything, if I may have missed something.
You're muted, Bonnie.
Oh, sorry. I think, Brenda, I think that you covered everything, but let's see if people have questions.
Yeah.
I think the math question was answered in the chat, that that though CLIP doesn't have a math component, a lot of students do come to CUNY Starter to Math Start right after CLIP. And the question about where CUNY started Math Start, which campuses have those programs, it's all of the community colleges plus City Tech and College of Staten Island. In terms of diplomas, so just like CLIP, to be in CUNY Starter Math Start, you need to be an accepted student in CUNY, which means that you've finished some high school or high school equivalency. It can be from your home country. It can be the task that you took in another state. It could be the GED that you took 15 years ago. Just some high school credential, okay? You're welcome, Sarah. Other questions?
The links are in the chat to these programs where you can find out more information. So we're going to move on next to College Discovery. So just again, CLIP and CUNY Starter Math Start are pre-matriculation programs. So that means that you apply to the college, but then you do those programs before you start your classes for credit. And College Discovery, now we're like moving on in our trajectory to look at the programs that support students once they're already in their college classes for credit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Julianne, and I direct the College Discovery program at LaGuardia Community College. And so College Discovery is a really special program. It was actually founded back in 1965 and was one of the first programs in the country to offer what we call wraparound supports, which is essentially what all of the programs you're hearing about today offer, meaning supports outside of the classroom. At the time, what folks realized was that it wasn't that students didn't have the skill or the capabilities to succeed in college, it's that colleges weren't offering the right resources. And so College Discovery was designed specifically for students who could really benefit from additional academic support, as well as additional financial support. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what College Discovery offers. What are some of the commitments, if students are enrolled with College Discovery, and then I'll talk about the eligibility as well. And then of course, I'll take questions at the end. So there are really four main parts to the College Discovery program. And as Ellen described, this is really once you've been admitted to the college, you're ready to begin your degree program. The first one is financial. And so by enrolling in College Discovery, there's a few automatic financial benefits that students receive. One is you receive an extra semester of state financial aid, Generally, students receive 6 semesters of state financial aid. By enrolling in College Discovery, you get a 7th automatically. A second benefit is a cash stipend. So at College Discovery, students receive a cash stipend of $300 every semester that they are enrolled full-time. So it comes out to $600 a year. And that's added on to your financial aid package. You can use that however you need to use it. It can be for books, it can be for transportation, it can be for living costs. However, you best need to utilize those funds. It's completely up to you. The third is any kind of activity fees or commitment fees that are tacked on to student tuition. College Discovery covers those additional fees. So your financial aid is not being used to cover fees. College Discovery, we cover all of those fees for every student that's enrolled. The second is intensive academic support. And so the way that looks at LaGuardia and at many other campuses that have College Discovery programs is we have a resource lab, which is staffed with dedicated College Discovery tutors. Our tutors are professional tutors. They've been with College Discovery for a long time. Many of them are even teachers or professors at the campus or for the Department of Education. And so they're highly skilled, highly trained tutors. And they're dedicated just for College Discovery students. And so students can meet quite frequently with tutors several times a week, as often as they need, because of the amount of tutors that we have compared to our enrollment, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We also have in the Resource Center a private computer lab that is just for College Discovery students. That includes printing, that includes Wi-Fi, accessing Microsoft Word, anything that you might need. It also includes any software. If any of your courses require specific software, right, these computers will have that software available. So it's a really great resource for students to have just quiet, dedicated space on campus. And at LaGuardia, we actually share the space with the ASAP program, which you'll hear about in a little bit. And so, it's one of the sad parts about not being on campus is that we don't kind of have these communal spaces right now. But when we do, it's really just a lovely environment. Students can study, they can do study groups, or they can sit quietly and kind of, plug in some headphones to get some work done. It's a really nice space for students who are both in College Discovery and students who are in ASAP. The third part is ensuring that students enroll in what we call pre-freshman summer courses. So there's a couple of ways that students do that at College Discovery. One is through CUNY Start or Math Start, which you heard about. And so if you enroll in one of the summer Math Start programs, that will actually count as your kind of pre-freshman course, and College Discovery will pay for you to attend that course. So that's one of the benefits, is that we will cover the Math Start summer fee if you have committed to College Discovery. Or we encourage students to take advantage of their campus's immersion program, which has a range of courses that are offered. And we provide tutoring around all of these services. The third is our college success counseling. So one of the things that's really special about College Discovery is all of our College Discovery counselors are counselors, meaning that they are licensed mental health counselors who can provide mental health and personal counseling. And so in addition to being trained as academic advisors, meaning they can advise around your degree, they can advise around college navigation, right? Any of the kind of academic supports, they can also provide professional and personal counseling. And so that's a really added benefit that's unique to College Discovery. At CUNY, typically mental health counselors in the Wellness Center there's usually just a handful, and they have hundreds of students, if not thousands. Our counselors usually have between like 85 to 125 at a time. And so there are many students who meet weekly, right, with their College Discovery counselor. So it's a very high touch program. And again, you get the benefit of the academic advisement as well as the personal counseling. The fourth is that the supports from College Discovery do not end after you earn your associate's degree. And so College Discovery is part of a larger network of what we call equal opportunity programs, which means students can actually transfer those benefits to a bachelor's program. They can also transfer those benefits to a master's program. And we even had a student recently who got her PhD. And so the benefits can follow you all the way up to the graduate level. And I tell this story often to students because I think it's something to think about if you are wanting to get a bachelor's degree, really considering college discovery. When I was a Kingsborough Community College student, I was eligible for college discovery and I turned it down. I said, no, I'm fine. I don't need all that help. I've got a full financial aid package. I can do this on my own. I'm good. And it was a huge mistake because sure enough, when I transferred and I went to a senior college, guess what? Financial aid didn't cover everything anymore. And I went looking for extra funding and I found out if I had started at College Discovery, I would have been eligible for extra funding at the senior college. So if you're thinking about earning a bachelor's degree, if you're thinking about graduate school, we really encourage you to think about College Discovery and at least seeing if you're eligible. So what do we expect from students, right? What's the commitment? What does it mean to be a College Discovery student? And there's really three major responsibilities that we have from College Discovery students. One is that you're meeting regularly with your counselor. And so for us at LaGuardia, that's at least 3 times a semester, one-on-one appointments. So we kind of usually break it down beginning, middle, end. We really expect to see you. Your counselor really expects for you to be responsive and to be in communication with the program. If we don't hear from you, or maybe you've fallen out of touch, that's when maybe you'll get an email from me, right? Or you'll get a kind of an outreach like, hey, checking in, we haven't heard from you. Being engaged and participating is a requirement to continue to receive benefits from College Discovery. The second is attending tutoring, right? We have these phenomenal academic resources and we really need students and want students to take advantage of it. And so we do require that students participate in tutoring, that students go to tutoring. And so if you're not going to tutoring, same thing, you're gonna check in from us. Hey, we haven't seen you in tutoring. You haven't checked in the resource lab, right? We're gonna make sure that you're continuing to access these resources, because everything that we know about the program is that the more students take advantage of these resources, the better they do in college overall. The third is attend program events and workshops. So we offer a ton of workshops all throughout the semester. You know, it can be, we have career counseling workshops, transfer workshops, we do mental health workshops, stress relief workshops. There's a range of workshops that we offer, and we do expect that students are participating in them. Again, it's one of those things that we've noticed, the more connected students are with the program, the better their experience at the college overall. So those are the 3 main requirements. So what are the eligibility requirements? How do you know if you're eligible for College Discovery? What do you do if you want to learn more? So in the chat, I'm going to post our eligibility requirements. So there are 2 major pieces to becoming eligible for College Discovery. One is academic, which means in order to be academically eligible, you should have a high school equivalency diploma, or if you went to high school, you have a below 80 GPA. Those are the 2 academic requirements. The second is financial. And on the link that I provided, there's a nice chart at the bottom that breaks down the financial requirements. So these financial requirements are set by New York State. They're not set by College Discovery or by LaGuardia. So there are income maximums that, you know, students' households have to kind of fall within to become eligible. The one thing I want to note is we know that the pandemic has been hard on so many of us. And so if for whatever reason your family is not eligible, maybe based off of your 2019 taxes, right? The income is higher than what it was in 2020. There's a process that we can guide students through to appeal and kind of say, listen, things have changed. I've lost my job. I've experienced medical issues, right? There's a way to try to appeal some of these income requirements. And so even if you think you might not be financially eligible, if you're interested, reach out and we will work with you in our financial aid office to see if, you know, an appeal for financial guidelines is possible. One of the best ways to make sure that you kind of get on College Discovery's radar is when you apply, there's going to be a question that says, are you interested in College Discovery, or are you interested in learning more, something to that effect. Just even if you're not sure, if you just select yes, It will really, if you are academically eligible, it will make sure you get on the radar of the campuses that you've been accepted to. If you've already submitted an application or you're not quite sure if you selected that option, then what you can do is go ahead and email the campus that you're interested in attending. And I'm going to put the campus directory here. So you have the contact information for all of the campuses that have College Discovery and SEEK programs. I should specify the College Discovery is specifically at the community colleges, whereas SEEK is at the senior colleges. So if you're looking to earn an associate's degree, you're interested in College Discovery. If you're interested in applying for a bachelor's degree, you're looking at SEEK. So those are, but it's essentially the same program. It's just kind of going by different names based on if you're at a community college or if you're at a senior college. So I will stop there and see, are there any questions or any points that I can help clarify? Okay.
You can go ahead and write any questions in the chat.
And I know you're going to be hearing from Richard in just a second. And so we do often get questions, right? You know, what's the difference between the two programs? How do I know what's right for me? You've heard College Discovery, you'll hear from ASAP. One thing that I failed to mention, which I should have, is that College Discovery does not have any requirements when it comes to majors or when it comes to placements, meaning any major that is offered at the college, College Discovery will accept you. And ASAP has specific requirements for their majors that Richard will kind of go over. There are no limits in terms of what majors are eligible for College Discovery. The same goes for placements. No matter what your initial placement is in English or reading and writing, English or math, as long as you've been admitted to the college, you'll be eligible for College Discovery. So those are two things that I should have mentioned that I forgot to in terms of if there's any other eligibility criterias, there are not. Really, it's, do you have a high school equivalency? Was your high school GPA below an 80? And are you financially eligible? In terms of appeals, I wanted to also mention, if there, for whatever reason, you're deemed not academically eligible, but you really feel like you could benefit from the intensive academic support, outreach the program, right? There's sometimes might be a process for an appeal or maybe submitting a justification as to why you really do need this intensive academic support, and the campuses will work with you to see if there's an appeal or some kind of waiver that can be applied to your application. So I think, again, if you're not sure, reach out to your respective campuses that you're interested in, and I can guarantee you that they'll do their best to help get you the information you need.
Julianne, do you have to start in the fall or can you start in the spring as well?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you, Ellen. I should have mentioned, so right now, College Discovery and SEEK only admit in the fall. And that's largely due to enrollment constraints. So College Discovery is a fairly small program. We only enroll about 300 students a year. And so the slots tend to fill up pretty quickly. And we don't have slots usually opening up, many slots opening up in the spring. And so right now, College Discovery programs and SEEK programs are only enrolling fall admits. Thank you, Ellen.
And there's another question about, is College Discovery only for CUNY or can it be for other universities as well?
Yeah, so College Discovery is only at CUNY. However, it's part of a larger network of equal opportunity programs that offer very similar benefits, right? Financial resources and academic resources. And so if you're planning on going or applying to a school outside of CUNY, if it is in New York State, it will have an equal opportunity program, and you should be able to apply to the program at that college.
Okay.
In terms of income, if your income is slightly above, this might be a case where you might want to talk to the College Discovery program at the campus that you've been admitted to see if there can be an appeal or some kind of additional documentation that might be, you could submit to admit you if it's slightly above. So what I would say, if it's, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 or something over, outreach that program, and, you know, their financial aid liaison will let you know what's possible. Unfortunately, if you did start in the spring, you won't be able to be admitted to College Discovery in the fall, because students should be first-time freshmen. That's one of the caveats. The only exception is if students are coming from CLIP or from CUNY Start and Math Start. If you were in CLIP or CUNY Start or Math Start in the spring, you can enroll in College Discovery in the fall. But if you've earned credits already, then you won't be eligible to join that fall semester. There's a question about age limits. There are no age limits. Anyone of any age can apply for the program.
All right. If there are any more questions, you can put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll move on. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. So who is next? Let's see. So we're going to have ASAP next. So we're going to have Richard Suarez from ASAP.
Hi everyone, my name is Richard Suarez. I'm here to support you and guide you through the ASAP and ACE program within CUNY, and I want to explain why there's a difference between the two. But I just wanted to share my contact info. So that will give you about 20 seconds to take a screenshot. So you can use this as my business card, even though we're remote right now. On the chat, I am writing down my contact information in case that you ever need to get a hold of me. Just send it over to you so that you have it also on the chat. So you have my direct email, but you also have our website in case you have to contact any other recruiter within CUNY, ASAP, and ACE. My name is Richard Suarez. I'm the Outreach and Alumni Engagement Specialist. What that basically translates to is that I oversee all the enrollment campuses within ASAP and ACE, a little bit of retention and an alumni engagement for students who already graduated from the program. So I do work with students to make sure that you are fully, have all the information that you need in order to move forward with ASAP, and how to transfer over to ACE in case that you are an alumni of our program. I can definitely show you how to get that started. All right. But if you have any questions, you can definitely write it on the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. So if you have any questions that are pertaining to that particular slide, I will definitely answer that question, or I will leave it to the end so I can answer in more detail. And at the end of the presentation, I will be showing you our website so you can get more information and get familiar with all the resources that we have available online that you can access at any point in time. All right. So I just wanted to show you what ASAP is all about. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you all the campuses that ASAP and ACE are located. So as you can see, ASAP is located in every single community college except for Gatman Community College. As you can see, ASAP is also available at 3 four-year colleges like College of Staten Island, Mega Ivers, and City Tech. I just wanted to point out that, for example, for students who are going to College of Staten Island, those students can actually receive support from ASAP with their associate's degree and baccalaureate degree programs, which means that you can actually get 2 degrees with receiving all ASAP supports. If you graduated, like say from BMCC or any other programs that we offer here, and you would like to get assistance with your baccalaureate degree, you can actually do that at John Jay or Lehman College. We can actually accept transfer for those particular campuses if you were an ASAP student at those particular campuses. All right. We do have ACE. We call it differently because those John Jay and Lehman do not offer associate degree programs. So Mega Ivers and City Tech, for example, do offer associate degree programs, baccalaureate degree programs, even master's degree programs, and even PhDs. So that's why they're part of the ASAP umbrella, where John Jay and Lehman only are called ACE because they do not offer associate degree programs. All right. So what do we offer? So ASAP is intended for students who are full-time student. And I want to clarify that being a full-time student does not mean that you're in class from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That is a full-time job, not a full-time student schedule. All right. I like to give my example. For example, when I went to college, I actually went to school at night. So I did all my full-time job. I did it during the day, and I actually went to school at night. And that was my schedule always, since from all the way down from my undergrad, all the way from my master's program. And Julian can tell you that since he was my boss at Queensborough Community College back then. I did go to school right after work, and I was able to consolidate my schedule that way. All right. But every single student in ASAP has to be full-time. ASAP offers block courses. What that means is that we reserve English, math, bio classes, any other classes that you may need in your first year. We block those courses to ensure that if those classes are full, that you can actually have access to those particular classes. And the professors in those classes are actually connected to your advisor. So in case of something is going on or you need extra assistance, that advisor will definitely connect with your professor and all the resources that you need in order to move forward. Winter and summer courses. So these right now makes too much sense for you, but once you are in college and you want to graduate as soon as possible, for example, we have students graduated within a year from ACE at John Jay, and that was documented on the news if you don't believe me. And that student was basically taking winter and summer classes every single semester. That student was taking a lot of semester courses throughout and getting the ACE support that they needed in order to make that happen. So let's say that if you want to graduate super early and you want to graduate a semester before or a year before, you can take winter and summer classes, and ASAP will also help you pay for those classes as well. Tuition and fee gap waiver. So let's say that you apply for financial aid and it's not enough to cover the rest of your tuition in full. What ASAP is going to do is whatever is left off, we're going to be applying an automatic scholarship into your financial aid package, and we're going to cover the rest of your tuition in full. So let's say that you do have $500 from either FAFSA or TAP, but it's not enough to cover the rest of your tuition in full. ASAP will cover all of it. So that way you don't have to take loans or find other scholarship outside of the college. ASAP will just cover the rest of your tuition. And that also applies for undocumented students. So let's say that you're an undocumented student, but you apply for the New York State DREAM Act, which I'm going to talk about a little later on, and you receive TAP. ASAP will cover the tuition and fees for those students as well. Take advantage of it. Textbook assistance. So ASAP will basically create an account under your name at the campus bookstore with $500 minimum every academic semester, every academic year. And textbook assistance will basically can be used for textbooks, notebooks, your calculators, your lab coats, anything that the college sells in order for you to get everything that you need for your classes. You can actually use it with that textbook assistance account that we're going to be creating under your name. ASAP Metro card. So since many of us are completely probably working already, we're working adults, we probably buy the regular MTA Metro card. It's completely unlimited every single month, but ASAP is gonna give it to you for free. So what we do is that we contacted the MTA and we created our own Metro card. That Metro card works from the first day of classes all the way down to the end of the semester, every single academic semester you are with ASAP or ACE. All right. And like that you are taking winter and summer classes, you can also have the Metro card for winter or summer classes as well. So we have students having a full year long Metro card and getting all the supports that they need in order to make sure that they have everything that you need in order to move forward with us. I'm seeing that that a student is not able to see my screen. Are you all able to see my screen? Yay, okay. Yeah, Urena, you might need additional assistance from Eric. Moving on, ASAP does design the program to ensure that you have everything that you need in order to move forward. So early engagement basically means that we are asking you to participate in a summer institute or orientation at the campus of your choice once you join the program, just to learn everything that the college offers, but also what the program offers in general. And that includes academic support services such as tutoring. We do have additional tutors. CUNY offers tutors for every single student on campus. What ASAP does is just hire additional tutors just to be at your service. Only ASAP students can use those tutors. And you will have additional support services through student ambassador, peer mentors, and so on. We also have a career specialist on site that will basically help you do your resume, your cover letter, apply for jobs, internships. If you need to practice for an upcoming interview, you can definitely use that career specialist to help you navigate all those resources and make sure that you're ready to begin your career, even while you're still in college. And last but not least, we do have an advisor that will work with you until you graduate. So you'll be assigned an advisor based on your major, and you will have that advisor that will work with you whether you change your major or not, because that person fully understands why you're making those changes, and they can definitely help you in the personal life, academic life, financially, or anything that you need. They will find resources for you on campus. Alrighty, foster care. So if you were a foster care student, even when you were a baby or you still work with your case manager, but you're under the age of 25, you may receive additional assistance from us. So through the FCI at cuny.edu, you can send us an email and let us know that you need additional assistance. So we can basically pay for your CUNY fee waiver, help you apply for CUNY, help you apply for CUNY Start and Master, be a part of CUNY Start and Master, and we also cover the fee. So it's $75 for the CUNY Start full-time program, 35 for the Mass Start. So we basically will cover that for you. And the hope is that you'll become an ASAP student after the fact. Or you can just go straight to ASAP and we can help you with additional money for summer winter courses, if you need additional money for textbooks, if you need a summer opportunity program for employment, we can definitely get that for you. But last but not least is my very favorite is that you can actually live on campus. So you can actually have an apartment assigned to you and you can use that dorm until you actually finish with your baccalaureate degree. So you can start as a community college student and you don't have any place to live. We will basically pay for your room and board, which means that we pay for where you live, plus your food. And we're gonna give you a stipend for in case that you need who knows, toilet paper or even toothbrushes or anything like that, you can definitely use that money for that as well. So you don't have to be alone when you are actually going to college. So you can give us a call or send us an email at fci@cuny.edu to get you started. So what do you do in order to become an ASAP student? It's super easy. The first step is to accept the offer of admissions. You have to be a CUNY student in order to be a part of ASAP. So make sure that once you finish your enrollment, either in CUNY Star, Master, Clip, or any other program, that you come back to admissions and you reinstate your offer of admissions at that particular college. Make sure that you submit your transcript or your GED equivalency or anything that you may need in order to be a part of that program or that particular college. Make sure that you submit that to the admissions office. Apply for FAFSA and TAP. So every single US citizen or permanent resident must apply for both FAFSA and TAP. FAFSA is widely known by every single student as a financial assistance for students. That's basically President Biden giving you that money, all right? And TAP is basically the Governor Cuomo giving you money to go to school. So if you only apply for FAFSA, you're only getting half the money. So make sure that you apply for both FAFSA and TAP. Undocumented students as of 3 years ago now have a brand new law that is called the New York State DREAM Act, and you can actually receive financial assistance from New York State. And again, if you receive TAP from the New York State DREAM Act, ASAP will cover your tuition in full as any documented student that we support. All right, so take advantage of it. And then visit the campus website. I will show you just in a second how to do that, where you can actually have an application, interest form, and everything that you need in order to register for classes as an ASAP student. All right. And let me just show you our website. So if you go literally Google cuny.edu / ASAP, or you go directly into the search bar as CUNY ASAP, you will find our website available to you. And this is the Join ASAP page. This is everything that I just discussed with you. If you go into any of these logos, you will be redirected directly to the Campus ASAP web page, where you can actually begin your enrollment process, or you can read more to learn the same information all over again. So again, you have to be a CUNY student in order to be a part of ASAP, have financial aid already filed, or if you're an undocumented student, that's completely okay. You don't have to apply for FAFSA, but make sure that you can let us know that you are not able to file for financial aid, so we can help you move on with the process. All right. All the ASAP benefits are right here. Again, if you're a foster care, you also have the referral form right here, and we can actually help you do your CUNY application right from the start, so you don't have to do it alone. All right. If you need assistance with financial aid, we just created a brand new video to give you all the ins and outs of filing for financial aid, filing for FAFSA, and even resources for undocumented students as well. All right. Are you ASAP ready? So all the ASAP requirements are right here, including the approved majors, as Julianne mentioned earlier. We do have requirements that we have to make sure that our students are meeting, and those requirements vary per campus. So every campus is different. Some campuses approve some majors over than the other, because we have a timeline for you to finish your degree. So for students who are planning on like say pursuing a particular degree, but that particular degree does not finish within a certain amount of time, we did not approve that major in order to be a part of ASAP, because we want our students to finish a degree within 3 years or less at a community college, or within 4 years at the baccalaureate level at ASAP or ACE. All right. So, and again, I just encourage you to look at this as a determining factor to apply for ASAP. I want you to apply for ASAP regardless, just to see if you're eligible. So many students that I talk to sometimes never apply to ASAP because they never thought they will be eligible. And the matter of fact is that they were actually eligible from the beginning. So make sure that you check with our enrollment process. And let us tell you no. Let us do our job and do our due diligence to ensure that you can become an ASAP student. And if we're not able to help you, we can actually send you over to another department in order to get all the services that you need. And it's super easy to begin your enrollment process. So for example, if you're going to BMCC, the application to BMCC ASAP is right here. You can just tap on the CUNY BMCC application for ASAP right from our page. But if you need an additional support, you can actually click more, and you can actually contact the recruiters right from here. So you don't actually have to like look for another page to get their contact info. Everything is right here. BCC does not have an application, but they do have an email that they want to ask you to send your contact info so they can actually begin checking your eligibility. But again, if you want to get additional support from their recruiters, you can actually contact them right from here, and you don't have to go anywhere else to find their contact information. Alrighty. That is it. So let me just stop sharing my screens, and you can definitely have any questions that you might have. I'm just going to show my face a little bit. And I'm just right here. If you have any questions, just write it on the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. I won't bite, so I promise I won't. My dog might, but I'm here. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And I do speak Spanish, so I can see some of you are writing direct messages to me in Spanish. So if you ever need any assistance with anything, you can definitely reach out to me in Spanish as well, or just sign up for an appointment by sending me an email at richard.suarez@cuny.edu. All right. Any questions for me so far? Any benefits that interest you that you would like to be a part of? Davinia, you are raising your hand. You would like to unmute yourself? You are muted.
Can you unmute yourself, Davinia?
Hi, my name is Davina Gallimore. I have a learning disability, and I'd like to know how would I go about getting help if I get into college in the future. Right now, I have medical condition that I have to work it out before applying to college, and I would like to apply to Manhattan Borough Community College. And how would I get financial aid based on, because I don't have a lot of, I'm not high income, and I would like to know how would I get about getting money and basic and join the ASAP program.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that question with us. That's very important. So something that you can do is um, I can connect you to CUNY.edu to begin your CUNY application. They also have a live representative that you can actually talk to while you're submitting your CUNY application, and they can help you understand your documentation that you actually need to submit your CUNY application, and what fees are related to it. For financial aid, you have to apply for FAFSA and TAP in order to receive the full financial aid benefit that you need, if you are admissible to CUNY. All right. After that, then you can just go into cuny.edu/ASAP, and you can definitely reach out to me directly. And I'm more than happy to assist you after you have been admitted to the BMCC. We can definitely get in touch once again so I can help you with the enrollment process at CUNY, at BMCC. You're welcome. Anyone else? I do have a question on the chat that was directly to me. I'm not gonna say the name just to keep it completely confidential. But there's a student asking because they graduated in Puerto Rico, and they're trying to do their masters at John Jay, and hopefully a JD, which is a law degree at John Jay. In order to be a part of ASAP, you have to be going for your first degree ever. So if you have a degree from another country or anything like that, um, if you are applying as a transfer student, you cannot have earned a degree at any other college before. So if you do have an associate's degree or baccalaureate degree, you cannot be a part of ASAP because their goal is to get you your first associate's degree or baccalaureate degree within CUNY. However, if you are interested, for example, in receiving additional assistance for forced care or anything like that, if you're under the age of 25, there are other programs that help students with foster care within the CUNY system that you can definitely apply for. And I can definitely get that started for you. Just send me an email and I'm more than happy to assist you. And if you actually need ESL classes and you would like to take them at one of our community colleges, you can definitely reach out to either CLIP, which is right here. I believe Kristen will be able to assist you with the CLIP process, or you can go to the ESL program or CUNY Starter Master, depending on the level of English and writing of that you fully understand before you begin your college level courses. And yes, I'm adding my email once again, so you can have access to all. Any other questions for me? You can unmute yourself if you like. I'm reading the chat. There's a few questions there, but you're more than happy to unmute yourself and ask a question so everyone can hear it. There was another student that asked that they have applied for FAFSA and TAP, but they're not eligible to receive financial aid. We do not have an income limit, so you can have full financial aid or not financial aid, or be a student or undocumented student, and you can still be a part of ASAP. The only difference is that if you don't receive any financial aid from FAFSA or TAP, we cannot pay for your tuition in full. So that means that you will have to pay for your tuition and fees, but we will cover everything else. You will have an advisor. We'll give you money for the books. We will give you money for your Metro card. All of that will be covered on the ASAP. And if you are taking winter summer classes, we can also pay for that as well for you. But regular semesters, we will not cover those for you if you are not eligible for financial aid. But we can definitely see why you're not receiving financial aid, and we can help you fix that problem. But keep in mind that ASAP is also a full-time student program. So if you're going for part-time, financial aid is very limited for that. But also you cannot be a part of ASAP if you're going part-time. All right. But keep in mind that being a full-time student does not mean that you're in class Monday to Friday. It can also mean that you're in class online. It can also mean that you're in classes only on the weekends. It also means that you can be in class only at night. So there's a lot of flexibility to go to college within CUNY that you might not even like realize how much resources we have available for our students. For example, my mom, they raised all of us, and she went back to college and she did all her classes at night. She worked Monday to Friday and she went to school and on the weekends. So she never had a day off, but she did it. And she went as a full-time student. She did ESL, she did CLIP, she did CUNY Star Master, she did ASAP at BCC, actually at Hostos, and then she did ASAP at Lehman. I did not help her get in, I promise. She was fully eligible for everything, and she became an ASAP student on her own. It's that easy to be enrolling in one of our programs. So all you have to do is seek for our assistance, and we're more than happy to provide that to you. All right. Let me see if there's another question. Yes, that is true of ACE as well. So ASAP and ACE are the same program. The only difference is that ACE only offers baccalaureate degrees and ACE programs offer associate degree programs.
All right, if there are no more questions, we're gonna move on because we still have 2 more programs to get to. So if you have further questions, you can just keep writing them in the chat, that's fine. But we're gonna move on to CUNY Edge. So we have Natalie from CUNY Edge.
Hi, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay? Is that, yeah, okay, cool. So I'm going to talk to you more conversationally about the CUNY Edge program. It's pretty flexible. So I'm going to start with sharing my screen. Give me one moment to pull that up. Okay. So I'll come back to this in a moment. I'm just going to present this. So this is the CUNY Edge program, and we aim to help students get an edge on their education. So I'm Natalie. Throughout the presentation, it's going to be really short with a couple of slides, and I'll take you to the website as well, but it's also here if you want to take a screenshot of that. So CUNY Edge's mission is to help CUNY students who are receiving public assistance achieve academic excellence, graduate on time, and find employment. And so in terms of eligibility, it's essentially you have to be a student receiving public assistance. Specifically cash assistance, but if you're receiving SNAP, you're also welcome to visit our offices or contact them virtually, and they will guide you as best as possible. So the core purpose of CUNY Edge is to understand that CUNY itself is a rather large system, but also if you have requirements from the Human Resource Administration, also known as HRA, they have a variety of requirements as well for individuals and for your households in terms of how much money you make, verifying what your activities are, and otherwise kind of supporting you through this process of education. And so HRA is responsible for all of that, checking your case status, making sure that you have the resources that you need. CUNY Edge doesn't handle the HRA components of that, but we do help with the paperwork. We do help with removing roadblocks and barriers if you can't contact someone from HRA, if you need to submit paperwork. And so that's one part of what we do. Edge is really designed to help educate, graduate, develop, and empower students. And we do that in a variety of ways. So in terms of the education, we also have dedicated CUNY Edge advisors. Those advisors are located at all 19 undergraduate campuses. So whether you're pursuing an associate's program or a bachelor's program at any of the 19 undergraduate schools, there will be a CUNY Edge office there. We provide supplemental advisement As Ellen mentioned earlier, CUNY advisors can have a very large caseload. And so we supplement that. So we have smaller caseloads, and those advisors are able to connect with you via text, email, phone, video, schedules, or walk-in. We help with deciding which classes you need to take, making sure that you're aligned to your major, and maximizing the kinds of classes that you're taking so that you can graduate on time, which gets us to the graduation piece. There are lots of, elements to becoming a CUNY student, staying enrolled and making sure that you graduate. So whether it's finding out how you need to do your graduation audit, making sure that you have actually reached all of the credits for your desired major, that's really important. If you're transferring from one CUNY institution to the other, because we are located at all 19 institutions, we can help facilitate that process. So you have someone to receive you who has a little bit of context about you and is ready to jump in and make sure that your new educational setting is helpful and supportive to you. In terms of development, there's a variety of ways that we do that. So we offer, and when I say we, I'm giving you a high level overview, because each campus does this in a way that really meets the needs of their particular population. So whether it's because you're in the Bronx and you're going to Hostos, or you're commuting to QCC, each campus has a really good sense of what those particular students need for their campus, and so they customize. So the customization comes in different kinds of seminars, whether it's fundamentals like time management, or whether it's identity-based, so women's group, parental groups, connecting you with financial aid on your campus so you understand what the resources are for your particular school. That's really important. We also have a component that is a fellowship. The fellowship allows students to earn income while also participating in school, and it's an allowable activity. And that basically means that regardless of what your fellowship income is, it's not going to adjust or close out your HRA case. And that's really important, because whether you're an individual or a household, part of a household, we don't want your education and any income to actually disrupt the benefits that you're receiving from HRA. The last piece is empowerment, and that happens in a variety of ways. In addition to workshops and seminars and the possibility of having a fellowship, we also try to nurture student community as much as possible. So that looks like working community groups, that looks like Zoom calls, fellowship, calling each other, that looks like, well, when you're in person, activities such as graduation events that have now switched to virtual. And so we're really looking for students to feel connected to each other, but also to the campus. And we do a great deal of advocacy in terms of making sure that you have enough information about your educational experience and also your HRA experience to really advocate for yourself. So just a quick overview of some of the different ways that CUNY Edge supports students. So when I mentioned earlier that we have those dedicated advisors, they really work across 3 broad areas, which is academic advisement, personal advisement, and career planning. The personal can really be a variety of issues, particularly now we know that there are just a variety of issues that impact the individual and how they show up, or if they can show up for school. So those are confidential conversations that you can have with your advisors, and they help you strategize and connect with other campus departments or external providers and supports so that you can get the services that you really need to stay in school and graduate on time. So the partnerships for other college offices we talked about, and it's not limited to just financial aid. It could be department chairs, it could be the wellness center, it could be groups for folks who are parents, for those who are caring for others in their families. So really making sure that you feel supported. The work opportunities are also flexible, so you can find a fellowship opportunity on campus or off campus. It could be something that's related to volunteerism, but you get paid for it, or your local community center or church, or wherever you feel comfortable kind of donating your, offering your time, we can help turn that into an opportunity for you to have some supplemental income. Lastly, CUNY Edge doesn't have a strict enrollment. It's more of an opt-in opportunity. So if you decide to come to us one point in the semester and say, hey, I really need help with this, we will offer that help. We'd love for you to stay engaged consistently, but if the circumstances make it such that you can't that's fine. You can come back to us whenever you need us and we will be available. And so for that reason, we try not to be too exclusive. So if you are a student who is also interested in ASAP, College Discovery, SEEK, CD, any other programs, you're more than welcome to participate in those programs and consider CUNY Edge a supplemental resource as well. I'm going to quickly jump over to our website. So just a quick overview so you know the information is available here. What we do in terms of the overview and also the program services. And so this is a quick bite size, again, because each campus does it slightly differently. If you know what school you're interested in, or you have a small short list of schools that you're interested in, you can contact those individual schools to get a better sense of what their CUNY Edge office is like. So I'm going to skip over here to the directory, which is what I wanted to show you in terms of the breadth, the scope of CUNY Edge. We are located at all of the undergraduate schools, so you're welcome to contact these schools. These numbers should connect you either to the office, which will feed the call to their digital numbers, or if you go to each campus's website, you're gonna be able to find the best ways to reach them now that our teams are working virtually and students are studying from home as well. So I'm just gonna go over a quick list here to make sure I've shared the information I wanted to share with you. So CUNY Edge is free. There's no cost to you at all. There are incentives in terms of helping with books, and also if you need tuition assistance, that's also available. Please note that any kind of financial supports are contingent on your involvement and participation in the program. So the more you're involved and connect with us for advisement, the more likely it is that we can help you financially. There's no age limit at all. So if you're enrolled and matriculated at CUNY, then you're welcome. And of course, receiving public assistance, then you can absolutely participate with CUNY Edge. And you can pursue any degree as long as it is an undergraduate degree. Let's see. Yes. That's the overview on CUNY Edge, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Davinia, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Yes, I have a question. My question is, if you on public assistance and low income, is it possible, and you have a learning disability, is it possible you can get into college? Because I'm thinking of going to Borough Manhattan. I haven't decided yet. I have to take care of my medical condition. Based on my income, I'm not working, I'm on public assistance. I would like to apply to college. What do I do in this situation?
So one thing, Davinia, is that every college has an office for students with disabilities.
Okay.
So Borough of Manhattan Community College has that, and all of the other colleges have that. And so when you start college, you connect with that office, and they offer a lot of supports. They offer tutoring and counseling and lots of supports for students with disabilities.
Thank you.
I know that depending on any individual needs or family needs, not everyone will be receiving public assistance. So if any questions come up, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'm more than happy to answer it for you. Thanks for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you. So keep putting any questions you want in the chat, and we're going to move on to our last program, which is the CUNY Black Male Initiative. So we have Kate Brandt and Sharika Stewart from the CUNY Central Office.
Okay, so Eric, I'm just going to share the website instead of the slides. I think it's more useful, so thanks. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about the CUNY Black Male Initiative. I know it might seem strange. I'm not Black and I'm not male. Why am I talking about the CUNY Black Male Initiative? But it's a great program. They do give some funds to the literacy programs. That's how we're connected. And I'll just say a little bit about it, and we'll just look at the website just a little bit. And then we're going to have the opportunity to hear from Sharika Stewart, who is a member of BMI as a student. And I think that's a great opportunity for you to hear from a student. So it was started 15 years ago with the recognition that Black men were very underrepresented at CUNY. And they offer, well, let me say this. So they have projects at every campus. And when you go to campus, it may not say Black Male Initiative. It may have another name, but it's something that I really recommend that you seek out, because all that I've seen from this program is that they really sort of embrace and take care of the students that are part. Here's another example of what they do. They have stellar scholars. So if you take a look at the website, you'll kind of see, you'll hear the stories of students who've gotten involved with BMI. They offer mentoring and they offer tutoring. They offer a trip to Africa. I think we're going to hear now from Sharika. Sharika, there you are.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Hi Kate. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen, but I'm gonna share also from my phone. So let's just see. So I am a BMI student, and like Kate mentioned, the BMI is not just for Black males. It's now like Black Mentor Initiative. But the advantage of the BMI program is that it helps you transition from being a student into a professional realm. So many of the CUNY programs that you heard from today definitely are going to benefit you when you're thinking about your professional endeavors. However, what BMI offers is hands-on experience in that. So as a student in CUNY, I too struggled with learning how to understand the functions of a college program. But what I noticed is that college programs functions like a lot of other endeavors that we have to do as mature adults. Like you have to be persistent in who you make phone calls to and who you email, and you have to make sure you're taking notes of what department you're contacting. And so what BMI does is it offers you that kind of professional development. So you learn a certain etiquette, how to speak in a professional realm. I'm so sorry, I forgot the screen was being shared. You learn how to speak in a certain environment, and you learn how to ask questions of your professors. You learn how to ask questions even of your fellow students. And the questions that you begin to ask are questions that will open gates for you and like allow you, I don't know why my thing is doing that.
I'll do it, Sharika. You can just focus on talking, yeah.
Yeah, so basically what it does is just allow you to understand once those doors are open, how to navigate them. So one way of navigation is that they too have a lot of fellowships and internship opportunities. And so what they'd like to do is match you up with whatever academic course that you are pursuing with that kind of professional development and give you hands-on experience. So I'm not saying that they hook you up with a job, but they give you the opportunity to present yourself in that forum, and then they teach you the skills and the tools. But most importantly, what it is a community of students that are going through the same things that you are. So you might have a problem that you think is individual to yourself, like something, maybe a professor, they don't speak clear and they have a thick accent, and you're like, well, I'm having a hard time in this class, but I don't want to offend the professor. and you know, everyone else is getting it. So maybe you need a little additional tutoring. So they also offer tutoring, and then they offer the ability to conference with that professor, something that you might be afraid to do on your own. One thing I could definitely say about BMI is the retention. So part of their mission is to retain kids, because a lot of people sign up for college, but how many graduate, right? So what BMI does is work with you throughout your whole college process. And as you begin to develop your academic career, it shows you how to navigate both. So a lot of people believe going to college and working have to be a thing that you separate. And BMI helps you navigate both of those things. Like Mr. Richard mentioned earlier, Mr. Suarez, I'm sorry, like Mr. Suarez mentioned earlier, it is not impossible to go to school and work. And BMI offers you the space. Well, we're virtual now, but they offered you the space where you could come in, get some extra work done, get some extra peace and quiet, while having a tutor or a mentor behind you to say, this is how you communicate with this professor. This is how you communicate with this department. So pretty much BMI just helps you learn how to get to the next steps, whatever your next steps may be. They curtail whatever it is specifically for you. So what your life choice of career, your life choice of college, whatever it might be, and that they also incorporate whatever your real life, whatever's going on in your real life. So when I say that, I mean, if you have children, if you have grandma you're taking care of, they consider all those things and find you opportunities that can help you balance all those things. I hope that was clear. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Sharika. Can you just talk a little bit about having a mentor? Because I know you had a mentor and how that helped you to have a mentor.
Oh, for sure. So I said they a lot. When I'm saying they, I mean, you have an individual mentor. So you have someone that's assigned to you. And she helped me tremendously, because going into college, I thought about, I'm coming from the Bronx, coming into Manhattan. Like, how am I going to pay for my fare? How am I going to pay for this food that looks so good? I want to eat in between classes. So they help you connect with those departments that find you waivers for things like that. Though they help with connecting you with departments, maybe you're a little embarrassed that you don't have enough food to bring home at the end of the night. They have a one-stop center. Well, CUNY has a one-stop center. They help you connect with those things without having to physically go into that department. Maybe you are embarrassed of doing something like that. So she helped me overcome those boundaries that had nothing to do with college, and had everything to do with my environment, and have everything to do with like my financial also having a mentor. So having a mentor is not like you can have only one specific person. BMI is such a community that the mentors there, they lean on each other. So if mine is not available, and you're so familiar, it's not like someone is just coming in and you just speaking to a new person. Like, if your mentor is not available, they'll say, hey, such and such is in your area. And they don't just meet you on college grounds, like they meet you anywhere. So it's like, hey, I'm going through something, or I need some extra, someone to clear with. They'll meet you in your neighborhood. They'll meet you wherever to have that conversation with you, and to be that extra support.
Thank you. So Eric, Eric wrote in the chat that if, as a college student, Sharika's in a unique position to be able to answer questions you might have about what's it really like. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat.
I would say at this point, we could probably unmute as well, just to remember that we don't want to speak over each other. So you might wait a moment and just make sure no one else is speaking, but we can unmute and have a conversation, I think.
So Urena says she can't unmute, Eric.
Forgive me, try it now.
So for the, I have a question. I'm Christine. So for the Male Initiative program, you have to be accepted into the CUNY program.
You have to be going to college, yes.
Okay, I see.
Christine, we do have BMI at the HSE level. So if you're in an HSE class, what
So
campus are you at? Are you
I,
taking?
so sorry, I applied to go because I want to go to Kingsborough. So I already applied. So you know, this is the reason I'm asking, like, where
Okay, so
do you have to be
Kingsborough,
accepted?
there's a really good BMI program at Kingsborough. So
Okay.
if you can message me, Kate Brandt, through the chat,
Okay.
give me your email, I will connect you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
About moms of musicians. I think if there's one thing that connects all of these mothers, it's some sort of courage. Dave and his mom Virginia have a story for all.
I sort of have a question, but not about any program in particular that we spoke of today. I was wondering, I mean, and I did notice that Eric, you posted something about like in the chat of like the disability services, but is there any disability service, like anything that we spoke of today that can help someone that's disabled? Because I personally have Parkinson's disease, and I was wondering if there's anything else that could help me that's just like focus on somebody that has a disability.
Yeah, so all of the colleges have an Office of Disabilities. And they really work with students according to, you know, what their disability is and what their needs are. Their services are like pretty individualized. And so the best thing to do is to reach out to the office and just kind of have a conversation with them about what you think would be useful. Some students have certain accommodations, and so they might have documentation that says that they can have a note taker, someone who takes notes for them in class, or they might have some like adaptive equipment that they use, or they might get extended time when they're taking like timed exams. So one thing that they will ask you for is some up-to-date assessments that show like what accommodations are recommended for you. I know that some students like maybe had an assessment maybe in high school or even before that might be kind of old. They might need something more updated, and that's something that you can talk to them about and ask them, you know, exactly what you would need to give. Natalie just put in the chat a link to the disability services.
Ellen, could I just add that the campuses also often will have physical accommodations, like for example, getting a key to an elevator, or having some priority scheduling for which classrooms you're in. And that's an important thing to talk about with them as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? You can unmute yourself if you have some other questions that you want to ask. We have just a few minutes left.
Yes, I have another question. My question is, if you were tested for accommodation 2014, do you have to update it?
I would imagine so, but you should contact the office. The Office of Disabilities, you know, even though maybe you're not enrolled as a student yet, I think if you called the Office of Disabilities at BMCC and you could just ask them a general question like that, I think you should be able to answer that.
Thank you.
Hi, I just have a question. Divinia, do you go to York College Learning Center?
No. How can I
Okay.
go about doing that?
Well, that is if you were interested in obtaining your HSC. If you already have one, then you would want to contact BMCC to go there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Changing plans is always part of the plan. To recover from the pandemic, we can't just wing it. I have a plan to build a healthier, more livable city. Getting your back to work with a paycheck you can actually.
Oh, I'm also going to put in the chat the phone number for the central office of disability services. So in case it's easier to make a phone call than to go on the website, you might try that number first.
When there's a crisis, sometimes you gotta break plans.
It's a little out of context, but it's on the same site as the link I shared earlier.
Paid for by Horniman 2021.
When my dad to Senator Brad Horniman, and he's done some pretty cool things. Before coronavirus, he fought that every kid in New York gets their measles vaccine. It's made sure people get to stay in their homes. For the Teachers' Day, he'll make the best present for Manhattan. That's pretty funny.
So there's a question, what is facts? I don't know if that was actually what is FAFSA. I'm not sure if that's what the question is. FAFSA is the application for financial aid to see if you're eligible for financial aid. So that may have been what you heard. Oh, it's related to FAFSA. I don't know what that is. We do have a email link. That is mysterious. I'm not sure what that is. We do have an entire presentation on financial aid that is in the Google Classroom. So you may want to listen to that, and question is answered there. If not, you should contact the college financial aid office and they can help you with that.
I think it's like a loan thing, because I know they have it for kids, like what's this, private schools, like when that's their financial aid system, like private schools, that's what they use. Fax management, it's like fax management or something like that. And I think on CUNY first, it also has it listed, but we don't use that, I don't believe. I think it's just a loan system, like if you took out a loan.
So Sharika is a good example of how complicated CUNY is. She knows about all of the many programs there are. So, you know, it's just another reminder of what Ellen was saying in the beginning, that it really can make a huge difference for you. If you.
So, you know, I'm also looking in the chat where this person says that there's incorrect information about me. So it is not uncommon, right, that some of your information might be incorrect. It's really important that you are persistent, meaning that you keep working with the college office to resolve whatever the problem is. Like, you don't have to throw your hands up and say like, that's wrong, but like, I just got to go with it, right? Like, you can be persistent and just keep working to get your problem resolved.
What Ellen said is very important. So a big part of the college, and what Kate is saying too, a big part of the college process is being very persistent. So it means speaking up when you feel like there's just so many other voices and mine might not matter, or I called this person 4 times, they didn't return my phone call, or I emailed this department. And if you're fortunate and if you paid attention to the Zoom, you will know that you're going to do that with some partner in one of these programs, and you'll have some support and you won't have to do it alone. But in the event that you are feeling overwhelmed, know that there's a support system in CUNY somewhere. You're not doing it by yourself. And there's an office door. Well, at this point, there's an email you can send, and you might have to send it 2 times, and you might have to send it 3 times, and you might have to send it 4 times. but go ahead and send it that 4th time because somebody will be responsive to you, and understand the whole world is facing like a crazy, chaotic mess right now. So whoever might be in that department, also think about that when you're applying for things too. Well, whoever might be in that department might have had COVID and been out for months, and are just coming back. You know what I mean? Or might just be overwhelmed because they might be the only ones doing it, you know? So be as patient as you would want somebody to be with you, but also be persistent. That doesn't mean let 2 weeks and 3 weeks go by. That means every week you call and, you know, and you send an email or something. And I've had times where I've called numbers until somebody transferred me to where I wanted to go. And they'll be like, it's such and such department. And I say, I know that this is, but you're the only one that picked up your phone and I need you to help me. And sometimes you got to be like that. And that person will be financial aid and you'll figure out that they're helping you to apply for classes just because they hear the desperation and they're like, we're going to figure this out together. You know what I mean? And it would be like that. So just be persistent.
So Ellen, shall we?
Yeah, I think that's it. We're going to put a lot of this information on our Google Classroom page. You should definitely check it out. And these are all, like Julianne and like Richard was saying, like these are incredible opportunities that you should take advantage of. Like they exist for you, right? Like that's what they're there for, right? They're there to help students. And so I always tell students, get into some program. Like not like it doesn't matter what it is, but like what is so important is to be in some smaller program so that you're not kind of like floating in the university, because it is like a really big place. And if you were the first person in your family to go to college, or, if you have been out of school for a long time, or if you have come back to work on your diploma, like, there's so many details and there's so many procedures, and it is hard to find your way. It is hard. And so these special programs are a smaller environment that, like, as you've heard, like they have advisors, they have students, former students like Sharika who have been through it. They have people who were former students and come back, right, to be helpers. And so as you go through and like earn your diploma and take your next steps, just remember about these programs, because they really, really will help you be successful as you go through. Like Sharika was saying, like a lot of people who start college don't finish, right? And so these programs are there to help you finish. So, like Kate said, I want to thank all of our guests, Kristen Winkler, Julianne Salazar, Richard Suarez, Bonnie Flaherty, Brenda Bellina, Natalie Hodge, Sharika Stewart, and Kate Brandt. This is really great information, and we're going to post it on the Google Classroom, and see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, bye.
Thank you very much, Bashir.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
again.